Well, hello, Beaver County. And hello, Sir Frank Sparks.
What's up?
How are you, buddy?
Busy.
Yeah.
Busy
yeah.
day
I'm
today.
glad you made it in here today.
On the road again.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm only here for a short time, and I'm back on the road again.
My good friends in Beaver County, you are listening to a special edition of Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. That would be me. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. I'm located out of Swickley. I work very proudly in Beaver County, and I also work in Allegheny and Butler and Washington as well. We are typically here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. I get to bother Frank for a whole hour and a half every Saturday.
Now you're bothering me in the week. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
Sir Frank Sparks is my producer, and I like to say my adopted co-host of this show, although he won't admit to that, but that's the reality. And I am just thrilled, literally thrilled, to have the opportunity to be on this week, and introduce my show maybe to a different audience. And Frank and I had talked about this in the past, and just thrilled to be here. We're not going to be on this Saturday, and this is kind of like the replacement for my show this Saturday. Frank, can you give the official reason why our show is preempted this week?
This Saturday will be the Rotary Auction, and Beaver County Rotary Auction, what it is it's a live radio auction. It runs from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and basically what we do is auction off different things that have been donated by different businesses throughout the county and throughout the area, like pirate tickets, penguin packages, things like that. Even cremation packages.
Sure.
Wills and testaments.
No,
and they've
very
all
necessary.
Right, and they've all been donated to the Rotary Club for funds, and whatever's raised goes towards the Rotarians to help out in Beaver County with their causes.
That's wonderful. Now, is this a yearly event or a yearly event?
Yeah, it's every year.
Okay.
I've been, and forgive me for this, but I didn't know that I've worked at the station since 2013. I found that out when the press release about my new job came out.
Congratulations for that.
And I didn't know how long, but I've been a part of it since probably 2013. Going on every year with start out with John Nuzzo and Al Gehring. I don't know if you've ever met Al.
I don't think I've had the pleasure of meeting Al yet.
All right, Al used to do AM Beaver County with the show Matt does now, and Al still helps out around. He's retired and he helps us out. And so Al's going to be doing, that's a tradition of his, is doing the Rotary Auction every year. So
Sure.
Al and I are going to be doing it together this year.
Okay, very cool. So, we're being preempted for a very good cause.
Right.
Thus, that's totally fine with me.
Right.
We got a call already?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Wants to talk.
Right out of the gate,
Yeah.
Sure. Hi, you're on with Eric McKenna.
Yeah, good morning or good afternoon. Where's the Pirate game?
It's not on today.
Why?
We're doing Eric's show today instead of the Pirate game today.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, where is the Pirate game today, Frank?
They're playing in St. Louis, but our Saturday shows have been moved to today before we knew the Pirates would.
So for the record, this is kind of amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I preempted the Pirates.
I guess. Yeah.
What are the odds of that? That'll never happen again in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Friends, again, we have Facebook Live going here. Diane and Tammy and so many who have joined us already, thank you so much. We try to have Facebook Live every Saturday on our show, and our special Wednesday edition is no exception to the rule there. We also video record our shows. As a matter of fact, we have another camera up there that Frank hasn't even seen yet. Frank is actually on camera now.
Catching me on my phone.
And I mix all these up for a video presentation of every show. And we have that on our website at calleric.com. That's my website, and that is the sponsor of this show. And as I always do, I encourage you to drop by, get a little feel for the kind of work that I do as a realtor. Very proud of that site. Lots of videos, lots of content, very high on content. And we try to be very high on content in this show. Mm-hmm. We tend to get sidetracked from time to time with humor and other crazy things that happens. But the purpose of this show is to simply talk about real estate, answer any questions that you, our listening audience, may have. I'm not a so-called quote-unquote expert. I don't like that word. But I pride myself in being a very knowledgeable and professional realtor. If you do stump me, that's not uncommon. We'll come back with that answer for you. I do take calls. Again, it's on Beaver County Radio at 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. And you can absolutely call in the show during our broadcast here. The most famous numbers in Beaver County, 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. You can also, I can actually say this in reality now, Frank, because I actually got some computer power over here. You can send me an email during the show, and I'll do my best to pick out some emails and talk about that content as well. So I'm very glad to have you joining us today. I kind of feel bad if you tuned in for the Pirates and you got me. If that's a disappointment, I apologize, but very proud to have this opportunity to bring my show to the middle of the week here on Beaver County Radio. And Frank and I were actually out at the tractor and farm equipment event this past Saturday.
Yep.
We broadcasted from there. The weather was good. A little colder than I thought.
That still was a nice morning for considering earlier in the week they were calling for rain all day long.
They were calling for rain.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and it was good. The food was PJ's Catering. It was amazing. My goodness, that was amazing. The hospitality was wonderful. Had a really, really good time, so I want to send out a thank you. I'm not sure exactly what entity I should be thanking. Frank can clear that up for me. But I definitely want to thank PJ's for the incredible food. That's for darn sure.
It's usually the Beaver and Lawrence County Farm Bureau.
Ooh, that's pretty professional.
Yes, that's who puts on the show.
Beaver and Laurel County Farm Bureau.
Lawrence County.
Oh, Lawrence, excuse me.
Yeah.
Lawrence, of course.
Yeah.
Lawrence County Farm Bureau.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone from those two entities are listening, you have my humble thanks. It was very fun to meet all of you. I didn't get my ride in the tractor as I was promised, but that did not happen. But had a really, really good time. Everybody was just so nice and accommodating. And
it's that time of year, man. We're
humbling.
always on the road.
Humbling, yeah. So I've already told the station manager, Mr. Mark Peterson, a.k.a. the Grand Poobah, I told him I am up to absolutely taking this show in any direction outside of the studio that you want to. I will do any remotes, and I know that Frank will wholeheartedly want to produce those and be there with me every single opportunity possible.
I'm always at them anyway.
Did you hear that, Mark?
I'm always at them. So, this is the time of year we have some big events coming up.
Sure,
and,
sure.
One of them being already passed that you were at, which was the Maple Syrup Festival.
That's right. That was a good time as well. Although there, I didn't get to eat pancakes.
Well, you could have waited in line for 2.5 hours.
No, the pancakes were such a hot item there. And again, that was my first time there. I think when I was a child, I was there once prior. But my goodness, that was a little chilly that day.
Yes, it was very cold. So that's usually, we know we have to bundle up for the Pancake Festival and then, onward from there. And it just gets better. In
both instances, I do want to thank personally those Beaver County residents that were at both events that came up and took the time to say hello. We actually took some pictures with some people. That was kind of flattering. I don't know why you'd want my photograph, but thank you. That was very flattering. I appreciate the positive feedback on the show. And although my producer at large here, Sir Frank Sparks, does not take compliments very well, he gets them a lot. And I figured if he hangs around me long enough, he's going to know how to take a compliment.
It's my job. I'm just blessed because I get to have the funnest job in the world, and not a lot of people get to have the job I have.
You do, buddy. You got a great gig. You got a great gig. I mean, heck, you get to produce my show every week. I mean,
that's like the highlight of my week.
Is that the principle?
Starts out.
Is that the precipice? Is that right?
Yeah. That's like the peak, man. That's the top.
But we do have fun on this show. We do take phone calls. We do take questions on Facebook Live. One of them actually from Mark Sanderson asking me at the show why it's on today. Mark, just a little bit earlier, you probably didn't catch it. We're broadcasting today because we have a Rotary auction on Saturday here. The station does a very cool thing, and so instead of giving up a week and not broadcasting this week, I was given the opportunity to broadcast today, and it's wonderful to be here.
Well, you must have ranked higher than me because my show's got axed for this week.
Can you say that again, Frank? Can you say that again?
Yeah, you must rank higher than me. No lead lap, no Saturday Sports Slam. What am I going to do?
Well, on Facebook Live, I want to say hello to Miss Button. She's tuning in, and Blaine and Dave Bishop and Diane and so many of you. Thank you so much. I know it's an unusual time for the show to be on, But hey, we're a trooper. We're here, and I'd like to think that we're introducing your personal realtor, our talk show, to a different audience. Of course, an opportunity to reach more people and reach out on what we do. Friends, this show is solely sponsored by yours truly and my website of calleric.com. Again, that's calleric.com. I am a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. Very proud of my brokerage. Mark and Patty Handlovich are the brokers. Mark's the broker, and Patty is the wonderful wife. And I can't run her without her. She's amazing. Very proud to be part of this group. And I do work in Beaver County quite a bit, even so much more since we've been doing this show, which is very humbling. But I want to just offer my services to you. If you are thinking about buying or selling your home, or both, or you have a friend or a family member who's considering purchasing a home or even listing a home, for any multitude of reasons, I can be of help to you, even if it's just information. Even if it's just information, I'd be more than happy to call, come and visit you. You can reach me directly. It's my own bat phone, as my producer would say. My number directly is easy to remember. It's 412-613-4466. 412-613-4466. Feel free to call or text me. I don't bite much, and I will absolutely call you back, and we can discuss your real estate needs or concerns. But it's been very humbling to acquire more clients in Beaver County because of this show. I got to thank Frank. I got to thank Mark Peterson, Matt Durzik, who has helped me, Pat Septak. Everybody's just been so wonderful. Greg Benedetti. I mean, it's definitely a team environment down here, and I love meeting people. That's part of being a realtor. Just absolutely love meeting people. And walking into this station all those weeks ago just enriched my life because the hospitality and kindness has been overwhelming. So a little personal, but I definitely wanted to state that. We are on show number 30. A little drum roll over there, Frank. Yeah.
There.
We're on show 30. So I mean, we couldn't do it without all you people. Many topics we've covered on these past Saturdays, friends. We've had home inspector in, my very favorite one, Mr. Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspections. Matt has really been a trooper. He has come in, I believe, on 4 or 5 occasions. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But they've been very interesting shows. We've taken calls on what the purpose of a home inspector is, both for buyers and for sellers. We've had a gentleman in that was from a storage company, My Way Storage, and his name escapes me at the moment. Wonderful guy. Came in and talked about his services and so forth. And we have many more on tap. We have Leslie Raymond from Union Home Mortgage scheduled. We keep postponing because her schedule is she's so busy because she's so wonderful, but her schedule is just so packed. She'll be coming in. We also have some professional roofers and some professional contractors who've agreed to come onto the show as well and answer questions that you may have about contracting and home improvements and all that good stuff. So the show does have a special guest every third week usually, and it's been very fruitful. It's been an educational experience for both Frank and I. Yes, I'm a realtor. I like to think I'm very good at what I do, but I'm always learning, and I think that's the key to real estate is not only staying current, but also being open-minded enough to realize that the environment and the industry continues to change. And I feel as a realtor, it's imperative that we stay on top of all we possibly can. So, again, if I can be of ever help to you, it's 412-613-4466. Call or text me. You can also email me. Very easy. It's sold. That's SOLD at calleric.com. And, of course, my website, our sponsor, is calleric.com. In a little while here, probably in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to receive a phone call from a very good friend of mine and fellow realtor, Tommy Summers. And Tommy is a realtor out of the Minneapolis area. I've gotten to know Tommy many years. He's been a realtor much longer than I have. He's been a great mentor to me, and he's been a wealth of information. And he also has just been a really great friend. So we've had this connection with music. Friendships are always built on things. And we had this connection with music, and primarily with the rock band Kiss, because in my prior life, I was a guitar guy. I had a guitar business for 15 years, and one of my clients in the design end was Paul Stanley of Kiss. I worked with a company called Washburn, and we made guitars for Paul, and Had a wonderful 8 years with one of my childhood heroes. And Tommy, on the other end, has been involved with the band and the fans' interaction and so forth for many years as well. Very big on podcasts and so forth, something that I have no idea about. And a couple of weeks ago, Tommy had approached me about this idea he wanted to do. And although we were in different cities, he thought it was a great opportunity for us to put our heads together and come up with something very useful to the general public. Because, again, podcasts are worthless if there's no content, valuable content. That valuable content could be humor, of course. It could be a multitude of things. But us realtors really aren't that funny. As a matter of fact, the only humor that comes out of this show is if it's coming from Frank or Matt Durzik or somebody. Yeah. But anyways, Tommy's going to call in, and we're going to talk a little bit about this project that him and I put together. It was actually his brainchild. It's the First Time Home Buyers podcast. And you think that there'd be someone else in the country who had kind of done this. But we did some research, and it doesn't appear that there's any kind of situation like this where two realtors have gotten together on a regular basis and have one topic for about 10 to 15 minutes each week, and it is to talk about the best ways to approach buying your first home, taking it piece by piece by piece by piece. I just filmed and recorded, I believe, our 4th episode yesterday, and Tommy is in the process of, he's our editor. He's much better at editing that stuff than me. But the hits are pretty significant, and I'm really excited about it. And again, buying your first home, if you get a great realtor, obviously they're going to help you immensely. But it's also good to have this information up front. Sometimes it helps you pick the right neighborhoods. Sometimes it helps you pick the right mortgage lender. Sometimes it helps you pick the right realtor. Let's be honest. I mean, if you have good content, good information, picking the right realtor is a big deal too. So in our podcasts, Tommy and I have taken typically between 11 and 15 minutes each week to give real good content. And it's amazing that the content between a realtor in Pittsburgh and the content between a realtor in Minneapolis is pretty similar. There's some differences from state to state, but overall, the process of buying a home from locating a realtor to getting your pre-approval to working with the mortgage rep to viewing homes and how you view homes and search for homes and then making an offer and then negotiating and then getting the inspections done and any contingencies involved with the inspections and ultimately moving to closing. That whole process can be broken down into steps, and that's what we're doing. But the whole process is generally the same in Minneapolis as it is in Pittsburgh. So while we're in different cities, the content we're providing on a universal basis has been great and very consistent. And based upon our feedback so far from all over the country and how many people have really enjoyed what we've done and found use in what we've done, it's been very rewarding in a very short period of time. So I've been trying to get Tommy on the air the last couple of weeks. It hasn't worked out. He's extremely busy. The old joke is you really don't want a realtor that's got all the time in the world because they have all the time in the world because they're not busy. So the more busy your realtor is, if they're managing their schedule correctly, which is something I pride myself on because I find it a necessity, you still can carry a good client base, a comfortable client base, make a good living, but also interact with enough people to learn from and really make yourself attractive to potential home sellers and home buyers as a realtor because you're engaged in the market and you really know what's going on. So again, Tommy will be joining us here on the other half of the right after the half hour here. This is going to take us for the end of our first segment. Time flies when you're having fun. For those who've never heard us before, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realty. And I'm being pushed into a break here. So, friends, don't go anywhere. Facebook Live, thank you. Our listeners, thank you. We will be right back. Hello, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor, heard every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412 613-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with Remaxed Advanced Realtors and calleric.com.
Lisa Lacina has a fresh start for you. Spring cleaning is in the air. The Home and Garden Show is over, and Lisa and the design team are hitting the road. The road to your house, beautifying your windows with custom window treatments from the inside out. Lacina Drapery and Blind Factory offers the most experienced designers and professional installers in Pittsburgh. No middleman, factory direct. You get the best prices and follow up after the sale. And right now, the cordless option is free on selected blinds and is always 12 months to pay and factory direct pricing from Lacina Drapery and Blind Factory. That's West Liberty Avenue, where a beautiful showroom awaits, and their state-of-the-art showroom in the Wexford-Warrendale area on Route 19 is ready for you. They're ready for you. So why don't you call and set up a no-obligation shop and home appointment, 412-665-4900, 412-665-4900, or simply book online at lachinadrapery.com.
Saturday, April 22nd, it's the Pirates and Yankees at PNC Park on a free shirt Saturday. The two teams continue their three-game interleague series at 4:05. And don't forget to arrive early when the first 20,000 fans get a free Andrew McCutcheon t-shirt presented by Point Park University. Plus, everyone's a winner on an Eden Park Scratch and Win Saturday. Catch the Buccos and the Yankees April 22nd at 4:05. Go to pirates.com for your tickets today.
724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888.
Those are the Beaver County radio numbers and probably the most famous in all of Beaver County. And we're back, friends. You are listening to a special Wednesday edition of Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. That's me. And I'm a Remax Advanced Realtor out of Swickley, PA. Work proudly in Beaver County, Allegheny, Washington, and Butler. We are typically on the air every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. Yeah, I got that right for a change. Yeah. 10:30 to noon, that's our normal time. We're on show number 30. Since this science experiment was presented to me many, many moons ago. I'm joined here by my great friend and the Mr. Beaver County Radio, as I like to call him, Sir Frank Sparks, producer at large.
Thanks, man, and I appreciate it, but, I'm too, as you say, humble. I'm too humble.
You're humble. We're Facebook Live today. I want to acknowledge some people. Joanne Iorio is actually watching, Frank.
Ah, okay. Hi, Joanne.
And Robin Nolte.
Seen her in a long time.
All right, Robin, thank you. It's rewarding. We do Facebook Live every show. That's helped broaden the reach of this show, and I've gotten it back on feedback from people that it really has been an asset getting the word out. Obviously, we have a very broad listener base as well. This kind of takes the show to a different realm and actually makes it national in some kind of little corny way. But the feedback's been wonderful and so forth. And I think that's the great thing about the internet and social media, is that something that might be local can also be made national or broad. And, we got some little feedback going on here. I apologize. It's funny because I had these cameras and I got it on delay, the whole thing. I'm trying to stay connected so that I get the information that I can actually read the questions. Frank's got so much going on his side, so.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how.
But we're good. But I want to, friends. I just got done telling you on the other side of the break that I'm participating in a first-time home buyers podcast, and I'm doing it with a wonderful friend, a wonderful realtor, very experienced, great guy. I'm giving him too many accolades. He probably won't like that, but truly, we we meet great people in this world, but Tommy is definitely one of them. Friends, this is Tommy Summer on the line with me. He's a realtor out of Minneapolis, and he approached me a couple weeks ago, or about a month and a half ago, I guess I should say, with the concept of doing this first-time homebuyers podcast, a weekly podcast, about 10 to 15 minutes each week, very high on content, kind of unlike this show at times, but very high on content, and just giving our opinions based upon our two markets, and what is the best advice? What are the best tips? What are the best things to do for first-time home buyers, even before they call a realtor, and things to look for and so forth. So very happy to have Tommy on the air here. Tommy, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Eric, how are you? It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know how busy you are. I mean, I know how busy I am, but if I was 20 years into this profession, I can't imagine being able to carve time out during the day. And we are right in the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday. So again, thank you very much.
No, I'm happy to talk whenever I can. I know we've had a couple of misfires, but I'm glad I made it, and I'm honored to be on.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's do this. I've already kind of explained a little bit about how this came about from my perspective when you involved me. But can you give us a little background first? And I did tell the audience a little bit about our connectivity with KISS and so forth. Can you just give them the official Tommy Summers background?
Well, I've been a licensed real estate agent for 14 years, and I started a podcast with a good friend of mine, Michael Brandvold. It's a music podcast, as you know, called Three Sides of the Coin, and we brought Mark Cicchini on, so it's the three of us. And one of the reasons I did that was to learn more about podcasting and filming and all of the audio stuff so that I could do some things for real estate. Awesome. But the problem has been that the real estate stuff is never going to be as interesting as the music stuff, because if you don't need to buy or sell a house, why would you listen or watch the podcast?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, we've got to come up with an idea. And I do some stuff on my own, as you know, but then I thought, I think that if we could do a content-rich 10 to 15-minute thing where there's myself and somebody else to bounce ideas off of, we could come up with some fantastic content for buyers and then here in the future sellers as well, to help people, whether you're living in Pittsburgh or you're living in Los Angeles, understand what we do for them and how the real estate market works.
Yep, and I think we're on our way.
Yeah, and so then I thought, Eric would be the perfect person to do this with. So thankfully you said yes, and we're off to the races.
No, I'm flattered. And what's kind of crazy about the whole thing, just to give some more background, I guess I should say, I had mentioned that Tommy and I met through our love of rock and roll, and I had been working with one of the members of KISS. Tommy has been working through the band in many capacities, but also interacting heavily with their fan base. And when I was actually starting to be a realtor, I was shadowing somebody, and I was scaling down my prior business, which was Boogie Street Guitars. When I was scaling that down, I was asked to be a guest, kind of a guest appearance. I made a guest appearance on their podcast, explaining the work that I had done over the years with Paul Stanley and my love for the band and so forth. And that was such a cool thing for me to do. I still go back once in a while and watch that, and I still kind of. Yeah, I pinch myself because of everything that's happened at this point. But that was such a cool little moment in my career, and it's just that kind of broadened our friendship there. And I guess things happen for a reason. But I always wanted.
Well, yeah, you get to know each other because of that experience,
right?
Right. And I just thought it would be a great idea to do something that was essentially cross country, because it's going to give people different perspective, because we do things different, but the same. We do them the same as well. Absolutely.
And let's just talk for a second about because we could have done a lot of things, Tommy. We could have attacked home inspections, and delve into that. We could have talked about foreclosures, which I know tends to be the reality TV thing right now, which just drives me insane. But
that's stuff. There's nothing real about that.
No. So how did you come across the concept of, if I'm going to do a podcast, I'm going to bring a partner in, we're going to make it short, in brief but concise. How did you come up with the idea of the topic being first-time home buyers?
Well, actually, I have to give that to a friend of mine, Steve Ross. I wanted to do this for a while, and you knew that I had, but I couldn't come up with an idea of what to do. And I knew that because of the success of the music podcast that I do, that we could, if I could put the right pieces together, I think we could come up with something really good for real estate. And so Steve is a PR guy. He works for a book publishing company in the Minneapolis area where I live. and we were taking a road trip of all things to go see Cheap Tricks. And I was talking to him about it, and I'm like, from a PR standpoint, here's what I'd like to do, but I'm stuck with this and this and this. What are your thoughts?
Right.
And he's like, well, why don't you do a first-time homebuyers podcast? I'm like, well, yeah, but everyone does something like that. Everything is tied to first-time homebuyers. And so much of the information that I've seen online is inaccurate.
Right.
For a myriad of reasons. And he's like, well, why don't you call it that? I'm like, well, surely someone's done that. And we're driving to Milwaukee, and sure enough, I look it up and Google it, and no one has done it.
Right.
So I said, okay, this sounds like a great idea. And so next phone call was to you.
Yeah, and why I find it fascinating is that I went out and searched for all kinds of advice. I did my homework, and I did some of the backstory here on researching. And, yeah, there's little nuggets of information here and there, and some of it I cringe when I watch the videos or listen to the podcast. So nothing was concise. Everything's kind of chopped up. And to me, I think we really hit on something special here. To have a very short, concise weekly show that we interact very well together on, and it's very informative, and we're also taking it step by step by step. And there's so much to really talking and extrapolating on a first-time home purchase that there's lots of content. I can see this show going on for quite a while before we ever get challenged into looking for new topics. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's endless. And I think that's the thing that I realized after we first started doing it. Actually, especially after what we just did yesterday,
yes.
I finally felt like that was the first one now that really clicked.
Right.
Where we're getting everything down. And the blogs that I read aren't always content filled. And yes, we're trying to sell ourselves because,
sure.
For all of you that are listening to Eric, obviously in the Pittsburgh area, call him to have him help you buy or sell a house. He knows what he's doing.
Thank you.
But we are also trying to give you folks content, like actual real good content and understanding of the situation to make you a smarter, better buyer. Like we say, become a rock star buyer.
Absolutely right. And I think the fact that we're concise, that we have parsed down the words, we're giving you the great information in a short, brevity is not lost on us. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And you're right about the blogs. You're right about a lot of the videos. They blather on. Now, on this show, we take calls where it's interactive and participatory. But this is more of a radio show. We have commercials. We have the things that to keep us online. So not that we don't have a good viewer base. I'm flattered. The Facebook Live, the amount of listeners we have on these two stations is incredible. I'm flattered every time I sit behind this mic. But this is
fantastic.
This is more of thank you. This is more of a relaxed nature where someone tunes in, finds a topic here, finds something to connect with, or has the ability to call in live or Facebook Live us questions. So that's the participatory nature of a long form show. We are doing just the opposite, and I'm proud of the content, Tommy. Yesterday was phenomenal. We are really getting straight to the point, the best advice that the two of us can come up with in a very short manner that you can easily go back and look at them and get the type of advice per subject that you want, because we're going to proliferate it everywhere, and that includes looking at our ugly mugs on YouTube and so forth. So whether you're listening on a podcast and jogging or taking a walk with your dogs or driving down the road, it's there. And if you actually want to watch the videos, they're there as well.
Yeah, so all you have to do is go to firsttimehomebuyerspodcast.com, and it'll take you right to our Spreaker page so you can download or listen to any one of the episodes we've done. I just loaded the fourth one this morning, so we've got 4 up under our belt, and we're just getting going. So if you're a new home buyer and they're thinking about purchasing, the first thing you need to do is call Eric, and the second thing you need to do is start watching that or listening to that podcast.
Well, thank you. And since Tommy is such a wiser man than me, I would take his advice. I'd call me too. To my Pittsburgh friends. So,
there you go.
And if you're in Minneapolis, if anyone's watching this on Facebook Live, Minneapolis, you never know. Tommy Summers is your man. And I guess that's the other part of the component where I love my Facebook Live audience, because I mean, the guitar business opened up so many friendships for me, and they're all over the world. And Kiss has done that for you too, and you're involved with the band and your podcast success that you've done with Michael and Mark is just off the charts. So
we're very blessed that it's gone the way it's gone, and so I'm trying to learn from what we're doing and apply it to what you and I are now doing, and I'm getting early results or feelings from people, feedback that this is what they're looking for, because like you said, it's rich in content. It's quick and to the point. It drives home information to you, and we don't have a lot of extra. We trimmed all the fat.
That's exactly right.
If you take 10, 15 minutes to learn a lot about a subject, you'll know more than 90% of the people out there, probably more than the majority of the realtors even know.
And I think that's the modern day way of learning. I mean, between YouTube instructional things that have proliferated, and I just know from my son, just watching him do homework, and just trying to research subjects he likes. I mean, I think back to the 70s when I was a kid. If I would have had I would have had the internet as a source to get information. Oh my goodness, my life would have been so different. You
would have just sat around and watched Kiss
as a kid. I probably would have done that. Yeah, that and rock and roll. You betcha. But the other thing too, before you leave here, I just want to again get your thoughts as well. My thoughts on this too about the proliferation is, if you are watching our podcast or you're listening to us and this is resonating with you, or if you find the podcast useful, but you really don't have a realtor, your family doesn't have a realtor, or you just don't know anyone that's a realtor that you think would be able to give you high quality service, that's the other thing that Tommy and I do. It's a referral service. We can find you a wonderful, experienced, and I would say an energetic and slightly aggressive, in a positive way, realtor in your area. So if you needed that, Tommy, you contact Tommy or myself. Our information is everywhere. It's all over the podcast. And ask us to help you find a wonderful realtor in your area. We'd be glad to do that for you.
Absolutely, and that's a free of charge service that we will provide. And just so you know, we don't just turn it over to one of our people and say, hey, go find somebody that's at corporate. We will listen to what you have to say. You tell us what you're looking for and what area of town you're looking, in what city, and we will literally call other agents and interview them and find one for you that we think will actually take care of you, listen to you, and help you get to where you need to be.
Absolutely right, and that's the thing. We personally interview any agent that we refer, and I will tell you, a lot of agents don't do that. They rely on their brokerage or their national brokerage or a clearinghouse to find you an agent, and that's not doing you a service. We will interview them first.
And I've done dozens of these before for different people who are buying in different areas of the country that listen to the music podcast, and they know I'm a real estate agent, and they called me up and said, hey, can you help me? So it's something we're happy to do for you, and we want just for everyone that likes the podcast to spread the word, just like with your radio show.
Absolutely.
Please tell other people that this might be of value to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will tell you, these good folks listening and these good folks watching on Facebook Live will do just that, Tommy. My Facebook Live gets shared. When I'm done recording and I go to actually look at the prior Facebook Live recording when I post it, there's sometimes 100 to 300 shares in there. So it's getting around. Yeah, it's definitely getting around. So, and that's what we're going to do with this podcast. I won't keep you anymore, my friend, but it means the world to me that you took a couple moments to call into my show today. And I'm going to have you back on a couple occasions as we go forward, as our topics kind of change. It might be good to, because we're going to move through this on a slower basis, so the content's good and rich. But we also realize that podcasts need to be short. They need to be very concise, very informative, and short. So we're not going to get into a ton of expanded detail every show, but each show will be a good reference point to go back and find the information that you need based upon your first home buying experience.
Well, yeah, like the one that we just posted today for people is we talk about the importance of having a good search set up for you for looking for a home. Sounds kind of, silly in a way, because it's like, well, who can't search for a home? But you'll find out information that I know you won't be aware of.
That's exactly right. So, Tommy, thank you so much, my friend. I will be in touch. It means the world to me that you called in. This is Tommy Summers, my co-host and the founder of FirstTimeHomeBuyersPodcast.com. Is that right? FirstTimeHomeBuyersPodcast.com is where you'll find us. However, go to Facebook, look up Tommy Summers. You know how to find me on Facebook. It's Realtor Eric McKenna. And here's the thing. You type both of our names into Google. If you can't find us, you're not looking very hard. So there you go. We're everywhere. So, again, Tommy, thank you so much, my friend. You have a great day.
Thanks. You too, Eric. Bye now.
Talk to you soon. So there you go, Frank. That's the background, huh?
Yeah. There you go.
Good guy. Good guy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, he's I wish he lived closer. It's one of those guys where I have a lot of friends in the real estate business, a lot of fellow realtors that I think the world of. And he would be one to be great to be local. But then again, it gives me a a reason to travel. So that's not always a bad thing too. Minneapolis is an awesome place to go.
Right,
So
right.
how are we sitting on time, my friend?
You can take it whenever you want. That's
Yeah,
the beauty.
I'll tell you what. You're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. That'd be me. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. And we host this show every week. Sir Frank and I do, usually Saturdays from 10:30 to noon. But today we have the wonderful opportunity of being with you good people from 2 to 3:30. Feel free to call in and ask any questions you want. It's 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888, the two most popular and famous numbers in all of Beaver County. And those are the numbers for Beaver County Radio. We'll be right back. Hello, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor. Heard every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors and calleric.com.
Catching football in the yard, trips to the Tuska Drive-In, going fishing. Dad has always been by your side, making memories and taking care of the family. Today, Dad needs some help with daily care. St. Barnabas Beaver Meadows is here for your family. From on-site recreation to community outings, rest assured that Dad will continue making memories in a safe, caring environment. That's why we've been voted Best in the Valley for 8 straight years. To schedule a tour, call 724-495-1600.
Reverend Gary Hilton of Chippewa United Methodist Church would like to cordially invite you to come join his congregation in celebrating the life of Christ every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. The Chippewa United Methodist Church is located at 2545 Donington Road in Beaver Falls. So if you can't make it to the service, then listen every Sunday morning from 11 to 11:30 a.m. on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA to the Reverend Gary Hilton of the Chippewa United Methodist Church.
Beaver County's hometown radio stations carry sports of all sorts, including season-long coverage of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Pirates, and Steelers. Since 1948, we've brought you exciting games from the high school ranks, in addition to the best in Geneva College football and basketball. And the tradition continues, from the diamond to the gridiron, from the rinks to the courts. You'll hear them all on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA Sports.
WBVP
And we're back. Hi, friends. You're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. And that's yours truly. I am a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors out of Swickley, PA. Enjoy working so much in Beaver County, Allegheny, Butler, and Washington. But, of course, this show is on Beaver County Radio, and I am so honored that you're listening to me today. We typically broadcast our show on Saturdays from 10:30 to noon. Sir Frank and I do that, and we have a blast. This week, there is the Rotary auction. I got that right?
Yes.
At the station, and we're being preempted.
Well, it's actually out and about. It's not at the station.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the station. The station is broadcasting the Rotary auction.
Yes.
Okay. And I was offered the opportunity to either take a week off, but that's not how I roll. So I was very anxious to keep the flow going because this was going to be show number 30. And I was given the opportunity to indeed have the show today. I've been told that I have now preempted the Pirates in some kind of corny way, so I probably will never be able to say that the rest of my life in radio for however long that lasts. Mm-hmm. But I preempted the Pirates today. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So friends, we talk a ton of real estate on here. I just had my good friend Tommy Summers on talking about a first-time home buyers podcast that we're doing. And this is today was the deadline for taxes. Do you know that, Frank? Last night at midnight. Mm-hmm. Did you get yours done?
Mm-hmm. I'm a business. I file the extension.
You filed the extension.
I give Uncle Sam until I have to.
Extension. Okay. Well, I think it's the money's owed.
Yeah.
You just got to pay a little interest penalty or something like that.
Unfortunately, was not able to make it in time, and I filed the extension because
right.
Well, I had so much going on in the last couple months with trying out for my new job, plus running my old business, and I just never. Sure. I kept putting it off, and then
me too.
Last Friday I called and I said, "Hey, Mr. Herman, can you hook me up?" I was like paging Mr. Herman.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Well, this is going to sound a little corny, friends, but I want to send a special hello to my mom, Cheryl McKenna. She's listening today in Coriopolis. And I had to let her know the show was on today instead of Saturday, but she's a loyal listener of her son. So, Mom, I love you. It's good that you're here. I haven't taught you Facebook Live yet. Frank wants me to do that, and I probably will, so you can actually see what's going on. But it's humbling when your friends and family, kind of encourage you and so forth. And that's been the case here. So many friends and family and people you've grown up, other realtors have been phenomenal. I was talking downstairs when I came into the studio today.
That's Sheila.
I know, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Sheila downstairs and one of the very loyal listeners of this station who I was introduced to, and I forget her name, wonderful lady. And they were asking me some questions in general, and they were sharing a story about their real estate transactions and so forth. And it reminded me of something that I really want to make sure that we get clear here, and I really want to understand or be confident that my listening audience, both Facebook and obviously here at WBVP and WMBA, I would like you to be very clear about my position on one thing, and that is that there are many, many, many wonderful realtors in Western Pennsylvania. So many more wonderful realtors than any that maybe not so, wonderful. And I'm very proud to be a realtor. I'm very proud to be a real estate agent. Be proud to do the work that I do. And so many of my counterparts are just the same way. And I'm always humbled and flattered. There's so much that I learn on a daily basis from those who have been in this business longer than me. Sometimes even newer agents can teach me things on certain subjects I'm not familiar with. And I just love what I do. Of course I do. But one of the reasons is I'm surrounded by great people. This show is not about, in any way, shape, or form, disparaging any realtor or broker or anything like that at all. This is a positive show. Yes, I am promoting the work that I do as a realtor with RE/MAX. Love to work with you. Of course I would. People like to use the word shill. I'm here shilling for myself. I don't view it that way. But I really am a fan of realtors in general and what we do and why I think it's necessary, why I think it's an important decision that a home buyer or a home lister would make, and making the right decision with the right realtor is imperative. But I'm very proud to be a realtor, and I'm proud of my cohorts. I'm proud of my fellow realtors everywhere. A closing, I don't do personally what's called dual agency, which means if I list a home, I don't represent a buyer. I won't do both sides. So when I go to closings, there's always another side. There's always another realtor there that I'm working with. And I've worked with this realtor for the 2 months or 3 months as we've come under contract and we've moved toward closing. And those relationships are phenomenal. I've actually met so many realtors that have become close friends of mine because of the quality of the people that they are. And that friendship's kind of spurred by our deal together. And then, to see how they professionally handle their clients and who they're associated with, the closing companies and all that good stuff. And in the end, I just want to say that, I love what I do. And I love the fact that I am a realtor. And I really, really appreciate my fellow realtors. So many, people talk about in life, 1,000 great things can happen all around you every day, and when we don't see them. But if one bad thing happens, one bad story about somebody happens, we blow that up into a big thing, and it kind of dominates our thoughts, and it dominates our attitudes. And, so I walked into an appointment yesterday, and a guy looked at me and goes, you guys and attorneys, you realtors and attorneys are all the same. And I said, he must have, in my head, he must have heard something bad about a realtor. And sure enough, he did. He heard something that wasn't very flattering about what a realtor had done. Who knows if it's even true? But, of course, people tend to skew their judgment. So I had an important job, and that was to bring him back to a positive, or at least the concept of being open-minded about what I do. And I like to think that I did that. I did get the business. I earned his trust. But that was, it's important for me to defend what we do, who we do, who we are, and the purpose of being a realtor. And I do it every day, along with a multitude of many realtors. As you know, I work for RE/MAX Advanced in Swickley. Love it there. My prior life as a realtor, I was honored to be a Howard Hanna agent then too, and I met just a multitude of wonderful agents there. But every broker has great agents, and that's part of the pride that I have as being a realtor. So again, I am not here to disparage anybody. I'm here to promote what I do. I'd love to get more clients from this show, and we've certainly done that. I mean, you great Beaver County people have welcomed me into your home and so forth. So that's been very rewarding. But ultimately, yes, I'm promoting myself. I am a realtor with RE/MAX. CallEric.com. My website sponsors the show, of course, and all that good stuff. But in the end, it really is about providing content, answering questions, and being helpful, And Frank and I had this conversation last week that the reason I got into this business was it fit my personality. And I enjoy people, but more importantly, I really enjoy helping people. When they smile, when the interaction is done, if you can walk away from a circumstance where you feel you've been of value and you can see them reach their goal, if you can see your client or if you can see your friend reach their goal, that's truly what it's all about for me. So just want to get that out there, that I really love what I'm doing, but I love who I'm involved with as well. Okay, friends, you are hearing the one and only Brothers Johnson, which is my outro music. Is that right? Is that what it's called in lingo here?
Yep.
My outro music, which means we're heading toward the news. So, friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna here every Saturday here on Beaver County Radio at 12:30 to noon. Today's special edition. Thank you for tuning in. This is 1230 WBVP in Beaver Falls and Chippewa, and 1460 WMBA in Ambridge and Moon Township. And right now, it is time for Town Hall News.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It would appear that Syrian President Bashar Assad still has plenty of chemical weapons in his arsenal. Senior Israeli defense officials estimate Assad is thought to possess up to 3 tons of such weapons. The assessment today comes weeks after a chemical attack in Syria killed at least 90 people. Defense Secretary Mattis has met with the Deputy Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who also serves as the kingdom's defense minister.
It was an excellent meeting. Just very open, honest, good meeting.
Iran and ISIS among topics on the agenda. Utah Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz says he's not going to run for re-election next year and will not seek any other public office in 2018. He had been frequently mentioned as a possible candidate for Senate or governor of Utah. President Trump applauding what he calls the greatest Super Bowl comeback of all time.
The Patriots are an incredible organization, and this Super Bowl victory was a complete team effort.
The president speaking a short time ago as he welcomed the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots to the White House. Earlier, tight end Rob Gronkowski showed up as Press Secretary Sean Spicer conducted his daily briefing.
Need some help?
I think I got this, but thank you. Maybe. All right, thanks, man. I'll see you in a minute.
It's official now. Bill O'Reilly and Fox News have parted ways. O'Reilly has been the subject of harassment allegations, and there have been settlements with 5 women totaling $13 million. O'Reilly has denied any wrongdoing, but his show has been the subject of a growing advertiser boycott in recent weeks. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is down about 111 points, while the NASDAQ trading 15 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey guys, with spring here, are you interested in trimming up and losing a few pounds? Or want to feel more energy through the day? Better yet, do you want to get paid to do something about it? If so, Protein is sponsoring a national study in the benefits of increased testosterone levels and its effect on your energy, metabolism, and performance. Go to protein65.com to see if you qualify. It's an easy program you can do from home. The tests are painless and confidential, and everything is shipped discreetly to you. Protein is a doctor-recommended natural formula with clinically proven testosterone precursors. Protein is available nationwide at GNC and other retailers, but this program is not available in stores. Program participants have already reported more energy, stamina, and faster recovery. So if you want to make a difference in your life and find out your levels for free, then go to protein65.com now to participate. That's the word pro, G-E-N-E, 65.com. Protein65.com. Enroll today before this study is closed at protein65.com.
British Prime Minister Theresa May rejects claims that she was capitalizing on conservative gains in opinion polls when she called for early elections on June 8th.
The Prime Minister told the Today programme that while every election carried risk, an early poll would strengthen her hand in negotiations with Brussels. She reiterated that there'd be no turning back on Brexit and no second referendum. She admitted the government hadn't lost a vote in the Commons so far on leaving the EU, but said the country needed certainty and clarity beyond Brexit, and she confirmed she had no intention to take part in television debates with her opponents. The Shadow Chancellor, John McDonnell, questioned whether the election really was about Brexit and suggested the timing was driven by a desire to go to the polls before the economy deteriorated.
The BBC's Rob Watson. At least 11 people dead after intense rains provoked several landslides today in a mountainous coffee-growing part of Colombia. News and analysis at townhall.com. President Trump has signed a bill extending a health care program for veterans.
The Choice Program was the government's response to a 2014 scandal over long wait times at VA medical centers in Phoenix and elsewhere.
More veterans can see the doctor of their choice. You got it? The doctor of their choice.
The program was supposed to run out in August. The president says the extension gives time to improve the system.
We've made a lot of strides for the veterans. These are like the most incredible people we have in our country as far as I'm concerned. And they have not been taken care of properly.
The president says veterans poured out their sweat, blood, and tears for their country. It's time to take care of them properly. Ed Donahue, Washington.
Police in Fresno, California say the black gunman suspected of randomly shooting 3 men to death in downtown Fresno the other day told investigators he wanted to kill as many white people as possible before being captured. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Beaver County stations for news, sports, information, and entertainment. 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
And friends, that is the sound of Eric Clapton with the wonderful tune Forever Man. How about that, Frank? I know it's not your thing, but my goodness, is that not good or what?
My thing's your other group.
Yeah, I know. Frank would prefer me to have Kiss tunes every the lead and the outro, yes. But yeah, Eric Clapton, Forever Man, has been one of my favorites and has been the intro to this song for 30 weeks now. That's just show number 30. Could not happen for the wonderful, if it wasn't for the wonderful people and listeners of Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. So wonderful to be here with you today. I know I'm preempting the Pirates. Yes, I've been reminded this many times. I am sorry, but it's great to be here. It's been an hour already. Time flies when you're having fun, I'll tell you.
Seems it's even faster on a weekday.
It does. Friends, this is your personal realtor with Eric McKenna. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced out of Swickley. I work in Allegheny, Washington, Butler, and the wonderful county of Beaver. We're here every Saturday, typically, from 10:30 to noon. Sir Frank Sparks, my producer and my adopted co-host, joins me. And today I had the opportunity to have a show earlier in the week because the Rotary auction that the station broadcasts every year is going to be this Saturday.
Yep.
So did I have that right?
Yeah. We'll be at the Eaton Corporation in Beaver.
There you go. I want to say hello to Aunt Pat Wagner, who's watching on Facebook Live, my good friend Eugenio. Eugenio's up in Connecticut, I believe. My goodness gracious. But thank you so much for tuning in. The Facebook Live audience has been amazing. And thank you, the good listeners of Beaver County Radio, for your complete support, participation in this show, and just making the wheels go. I mean, we wouldn't be on the air if we didn't have an audience, and we wouldn't be on the air if we weren't providing value. And you, friends, have given us the right feedback that we're doing something right. So thank you so much. To participate in the show, it's 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Frank tells me we have a call. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Hi, you're on with Eric McKenna.
Are you there?
I sure am.
Don't you have the ball game on today?
No.
How come?
We're doing our Saturday shows today.
Okay.
Because of the Rotary auction.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Hey, at least he was nice about it. Hey, if I was missing my buckos too, that darn real estate guy, we should be listening to the Pirates right now.
I will tell you this.
Yes.
I will bet you cannot guess the score in the top of the sixth.
Okay, give me a hint. Are they winning or losing?
It's a photocopy.
Oh.
Of the last 2 days.
Who's pitching today?
Garrett Cole. It's a photocopy of the last 2 days.
I say it's 0-0.
It's 2-1.
All right, well, fair enough. Fair enough.
Garrett Cole has since giving up, he gave up a home run to Dexter Fowler in the first inning. And then, in the bottom of the third, and then he gave up another home run to Dexter Fowler in the bottom of the fifth.
Dexter Fowler is a pirate killer, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
And how about this? The pirate run came off of the bat of Josh Bell with a home run.
How about that?
Yeah,
that's something that needs to start happening on a more frequent basis.
So it is currently 2-1, top of the sixth, with one out.
Wow. Good
Pirates
deal.
are down 2-1. Garrett Cole, looks like Pirates so far have ruined 3 stellar performances in a row after pitching-wise. The bats were alive in Chicago, now they're bad in Pittsburgh or in St. Louis.
So Tyone and Nova both have losses because of lack of run production, correct?
Yeah. Well, yesterday was Chad Kuhl's turn.
Right. That's right.
And the day before was either Nova or Tyone. I can't remember, but
it was Nova, I thought.
Nova, yeah. It's unfortunate. No, and that happens. It's early in the year.
Well, friends, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Again, I know some of you are tuning in, expecting the Pirates, and what's coming on after me? Are the Pirates coming on? The Pirates are not on today, this station.
No.
Okay. Just making sure I don't give out any bum information. That's for sure.
The list.
I know the list is there. I'm learning. See, there's all these little broadcasting tricks that no one has ever really introduced me to, or if Frank has introduced them to me, but I have not retained them all.
It says real big, no Pirates.
No
Eric
Pirates
McKenna
today.
Show.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, my goodness gracious. We do talk a lot of things on this show. There's a lot of humor typically, and we do end up closing out every show with some baseball talk or whatever the current topic of the day is. That's usually driven by my son, Austin Major McKenna, as he creates sports questions for the one and only Sir Frank Sparks, who it happens to be the host of the Saturday Sports Slam, among everything else that you do here.
6 days, baby.
Yeah, 6 days a week, Sir Frank Sparks is here. Again, friends, thank you for tuning in. If this is the first experience you've had with the show, I humbly thank you. I am a realtor, again, like I said, it covers Western Pennsylvania. This show's been on 30 weeks, and we've had a wonderful opportunity to bring a lot of content to you. And that's the purpose of the show, but also ask for your participation as well. We fielded so many phone calls over the first 30 weeks, emails, I get so many emails now, Frank, that I remember I used to pick emails out and answer questions. Now we've got so much content that I just answer the emails directly, but I don't even have time to bring them on the show unless it was something very pressing. The last couple of weeks, we have talked about some things to consider if you're in the market or if you're thinking about listing your home. Again, I'm not a realtor that believes very much in the seasons anymore because I feel the internet has kind of flattened out the seasons. I'm busy all year long. Most great realtors are busy all year long. But traditionally, people feel the spring market is here and so forth. So this is the time of year people do start thinking about listing. And, of course, I want you to call a great realtor. Call me. Call someone to be your advocate. You want that. But if you're not ready to do that yet and you're just kind of making a checklist and looking at your house critically, looking at things that you may want to consider. We've gone through the exterior of the house. We've listed all the different topics to look there. We've actually gone through the interior of the house in a subsequent show, taking the first floor and then going to the bedrooms and going down to the basement. We've kind of covered the grounds around the property, and how important it is to make your house look as best as it possibly can. Sometimes you can't control what your neighbors are or even the neighborhood you're in, but you really want to make your home look as advantageous as possible. You can never discount curb appeal for sure. But what I want to reemphasize today here as we close out our show in a little while, I just want to tell you that any great realtor is going to provide so much service to you in so many different capacities. But one of the most important capacities would be the ability to come in and talk to you and give you some opinions or suggestions on how you can make your home present the very best that it can. Now, it takes a tactful realtor, and something I spend a lot of time on, I take pride in, to be able to walk into a stranger's home, someone that's interested in hiring me, and give them very blunt but very honest advice. And there's a lot of ways to tell somebody that chartreuse is not a great color for the ceiling in their living room, okay? So granted, you want to hire a realtor that you're comfortable with, someone that you like their presentation, someone that you feel can be your friend. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people say, "Oh, I don't want my realtor to be my friend. I want to keep those two separate." Well, that's okay. You work with me and you keep that separate, and then at the end of our process, guarantee we'll be friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is a relationship, and it's a journey that we take together. But I am a realtor, like many others, who really like talking about my listers' homes and giving frank advice and explaining why certain things need to be done, explaining what the quote-unquote real trends are, what people are looking for. I mean, it's not easy to make your house show as very best as it can. Sometimes it costs a little money. Sometimes there's different ways to get there without spending a lot of money. But ultimately, in the end, if you want true market value for your house and you really want your house to give you all it can for what you put into it, especially financially, then I would say partner up with a great realtor, get some advice, listen. You don't have to agree, but definitely listen and see if maybe some of these changes or alterations, costly or not, are in your budget. And the idea certainly is to make that money back and then some. So enlist a realtor, enlist a great realtor. And if you don't have a realtor and you like what you've heard on this show so far, I will be glad to be your realtor and talk to you about what I do. This is Eric McKenna with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. You can call or reach me directly anytime at 412-613-4466. Again, that's 412-613-4466. I can be your personal realtor. I love to work on both the listing side and the buyer side. I can't say I prefer one or the others. They're both unique in their own way, and they're both fun. I do find it very challenging and fun to list homes, to work with listers. I use social media in a big way to promote my listings. I shoot walkthrough videos. I purchase at my own cost Facebook advertisements to promote. I'm very big on open houses. I like to run them for 5 hours at a clip on Sundays. I like to give every opportunity for people to come and see these wonderful homes. So my philosophy on how I work with my listers and how I handle my clients might be just a little different than maybe what the traditional methods would be, but they're effective. And I think you'll have a lot of fun. I enjoy having fun with my clients, as this is a journey we take together. And I think whether it's me or somebody else that you hire as a realtor, make sure it's someone that you're confident in, is going to represent you, be an advocate for you, and you know what? Have a little fun with it too, because I think that's important. And Frank's over there grinning because he knows. But I love to have fun, and I don't want to be involved in anything if I can't enjoy the human experience and have fun with it. So I always tell my clients too, if we're not having some fun, even if it gets frustrating, if we're still not having some fun, then we're not doing it right. You know? So
yeah.
Again, I think that's important. And I have no idea what my producer's been doing here, but he's been fixated on his screen.
I'm pricing Penguin tickets for tomorrow
Oh,
night.
you see, he's totally disengaged.
You asked.
He's totally disengaged. But
I was
again,
listening to every word.
Again, friend, I can be your personal realtor. This is Eric McKenna, 412-613-4466, 412-613-4466. Call or text me. And I encourage you to visit the sponsor of this great show, if I might say so myself. It's calleric.com. Again, that's calleric.com, my website. You can learn about me, what we do, or just get facts. Make up your own mind. You know, it's all there for you to see. Sponsor this show, my website, calleric.com. That's the Brothers Johnson, and that is the music that lets me know I need to take a break. Friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with yours truly, Eric McKenna, and we'll be right back.
Lachina has a fresh start for you. Spring cleaning is in the air. The Home and Garden Show is over, and Lisa and the design team are hitting the road. The road to your house, beautifying your windows with custom window treatments from the inside out. Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory offers the most experienced designers and professional installers in Pittsburgh. No middleman, factory direct. You get the best prices and follow up after the sale. And right now, the cordless option is free on selected blinds and is always 12 months to pay and factory direct pricing from Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory. That's West Liberty Avenue, where a beautiful showroom awaits, and their state-of-the-art showroom in the Wexford-Warrendale area on Route 19 is ready for you. They're ready for you. So why don't you call and set up a no-obligation shop and home appointment, 412-665-4900, 412-665-4900, or simply book online at lachinadrapery.com.
Do you travel Toll 376? If so, changes are ahead. On April 30th, Toll 376 becomes a no-cash zone, and cash will no longer be accepted at the toll plazas. Drivers who do not have Easy Pass will pay their tolls using PA Turnpike toll by plate. Drive through the lanes at posted speed, a photo is taken of your plate, and an invoice is mailed to you. Easy Pass members pay as they always have. No cash, no stopping, no worries. Visit nocashzone.com for more information.
Hello, friends. This is Remaxed Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with calleric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor, heard every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with Remaxed Advanced Realtors and calleric.com. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, for Beaver County Radio. Endearing and enduring since 1948.
724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888.
Those are the Beaver County radio numbers and probably the most famous in all of Beaver County. And welcome back to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, Realtor with Remax Advanced out of Swickley, PA. I service Butler County, Allegheny, Washington, and, of course, the wonderful people of Beaver County. We're here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. That's right, every Saturday, 10:30 to noon. Honored to be on this wonderful station. Special thanks to Mr. Mark Peterson, the Grand Poobah, and Mr. Beaver County Radio himself, Sir Frank Sparks, who I could not make this go without him. And I know he hates the compliments, but it's the truth.
Yeah, I do.
I'm outing you every single chance I get, my friend. This has been a special Wednesday edition of the show. We're not going to be here this Saturday. The Rotary auction that this station broadcasts every year, wonderful event, will be this Saturday. So I was afforded an opportunity to speak with you great people today on Wednesday and kind of broaden our horizons a bit and broaden our reach into the Beaver County Radio listening base, which has been wonderful. And Frank, if you ever met Frank Sparks, he looks very serious all the time, but he's got the biggest heart and he's got the most funny sense of humor I can imagine. So when he looks all serious on the other side of the big board here, I know there's a smile coming at some point in time because his mind's always 5 steps ahead of mine. He's on to the next thing. Hey, I want to say hi to my cousin, Rob Carterman, who just joined us on Facebook Live. And Facebook Live is something that we do every week on our show. I have multiple cameras here, so we record the show and edit it for posterity, but we also broadcast on Facebook Live. It's been a very integral part of this show and broadening our reach and kind of putting a face to the whole thing. It wasn't something I planned initially, but I think by the third show, we started Facebook Live, and it's been great. It's probably the best thing that I've done with this show. We're content rich here for the most part, but we like to have a lot of fun. We end every show talking a little sports, and Lord knows with everything that's going on in Pittsburgh with the Pirates and the Steelers and all the craziness that's going on, and the sadness, of course, with the passing of Dan Rooney. There's been a lot of topics the past 3 weeks. Would you not agree, Frank?
Yeah, many.
Yeah, many topics.
Many, just too many to...
Yeah, too many. And we're going to talk about one in a second here in our last couple of minutes. But, friends, again, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, a RE/MAX Advanced Realtor out of Swickley. I can always be reached. If you're looking for a realtor, I can be your personal realtor. That's right. I can be your personal realtor. It's 412-613-4466. Again, it's 412-613-4466. Love what I do. And as my promo says, and it's the truth, I just love it when listeners become clients. I really do. And so many of you in Beaver County have heard this show, provided great feedback, have welcomed me into your homes to talk real estate. Many of you have become clients, and most of you have fed me, which has been just incredible. I've had the most incredible homemade cooking since I've started this show, and I laugh about that. But in one regard, I'm not laughing because it's the truth. The Grand Poobah, Mr. Mark Peterson, is checking in. He says hello. How are you, Mark? On Facebook Live. Friends, the way to participate in the show always is the two most famous numbers in Beaver County, 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. And you noticed when I came in today, I heard Mr. Matt Durzik using one of my lines. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he said, you can reach us at the two most famous numbers in Beaver County.
Oh, he uses that all
and
the
I
time.
looked at him, I said, hey, wait a second. Do I get a royalty check for that one or what? You know what I mean?
He does that all the time.
No, Matt's great. Matt is great, too. This whole staff here over and over and over again is fantastic. And it all starts with the Grand Poobah who's on Facebook Live. Now, he doesn't want me to embarrass him, but he does take a compliment better than Frank does. He does.
I don't like compliments.
Well,
I'm doing my job.
You do,
having fun
and you're doing it well, and so you should be commended for that. And when people come up independently and commend you, you need to learn to take that.
I say, how you doing? Thanks for coming.
Well, I know, but it's a humble thing. You stick around me long enough, buddy, you'll learn how to take compliments for sure in a good spirits. We're last couple of minutes of the show here, and again, thank you for letting me be here with you today. I know the Pirates were generally here, and as Mark probably will tell you, this is the first and probably last time I will ever be able to say this. I preempted the Pirates today. How about that, huh? As we do every week, I end the show with a couple, usually one or two sports questions, relevant sports questions that my son, one of the two loves of my life, my son, Austin Major McKenna, and my daughter, Gwendolyn. Austin, big baseball fan, and he has a couple questions for Sir Frank this week, just to get Frank's opinion on them. Obviously, you know this one. Your thoughts, your concise and direct thoughts on Mr. Starling Marte, and the component about people like children like my son, 15, 16, 17 years old, what kind of impact and disappointment it may lead for an example it would lead for those kids.
Well, it's going to disappoint a lot of kids. But my way of explaining it is I explained earlier this morning. We have on Teleform a story of the day I try to come up with, and I call it the bonehead story of the day.
Right.
I didn't have to look too far this morning for it.
No, unfortunately.
You're a professional athlete. You should hold yourself above and beyond. And, everybody says, well, and this is what I get in my personal life because I am and will always be Barry Bonds fan. He was my favorite.
And I am as well.
But the difference is this. PEDs were in baseball then. There was no rules against PEDs.
Correct.
We'll never know for a fact if Roger Clemens was doping, if Barry Bonds was doping. You can say it all you want. Oh, he got this big pumpkin head. Well, okay, but you don't know that for a fact.
It's never been proven.
Mark McGwire, same thing. Sammy Sosa. You don't know. It's not proven.
Right.
Barry Bonds was acquitted by the grand jury.
No one likes to ever remember that, though.
Right. And the problem here is there are those rules now. And now you have to live by those rules. And the unfortunate is a lot of kids are going to be disappointed. A lot of parents are disappointed. And a lot of realization is not only is this an 80-game suspension, but thank God that I don't think it's going to happen. But if the Pirates would make the playoffs, he's ineligible.
You never know.
And,
All
right.
All right. So the other part of the question is, and we raised this last week. My son came up with the idea, and Frank wasn't too enthusiastic, but maybe he might be now. Brett Laurie is still an unsigned free agent. Now, granted, it's not an outfielder, but if you bring him in now with the vacancy in the outfield, you can now play freeze on and off out there, and you bring in a solid third baseman that if Kang or Kong, I can't even pronounce his name, comes back at any point in time, Laurie will challenge him for that position. I think he's an excitable guy. He's got high energy, and I think he'd be embraced by the people of Pittsburgh. I don't know what Huntington's waiting for. He's sitting out there before anyone grabs him. Why would you? It's a reasonable contract. What? Especially now when you can shuffle players and you got a vacancy. Why would you not get him now?
Well, I think part of the problem is Jose Osuna deserved a shot.
Okay.
And that's because, unfortunately, Alan Hansen was out of options, so they had to keep him on the Major League roster to keep him.
Okay.
And Osuna should have been, rightfully, it should have been his spot, and that's who they brought up to give it to it. But unfortunately, I'm looking in John Jesus, who's playing.
I heard that today. I could not believe it. My thoughts on that. He should never have been there.
Right.
All right, Frank, thank you so much on behalf of my son for always taking the moment to humor him and answer his questions. He appreciates it. I appreciate it. My good friends in Beaver County, thank you for bringing me into your life here for these 90 minutes. It's been wonderful. Again, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, and I am a realtor out of RE/MAX Advanced. I work all over. I work in Allegheny, Butler, Washington, and the great county of Beaver. We're here every Saturday, 10:30 to noon, except this Saturday, of course. Welcome you to join the show anytime you want. Hope we can recruit you to listen to us on the weekend. To my Facebook friends live, to Sir Frank Sparks and Mark Peterson, thank you for the opportunity. This was Show 30, and you're listening to 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. And right now, we're going to go to Pat Septak for local news.
Listening to Your Personal Realtor, hosted by Eric McKenna with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. Content and sponsorship is provided by Eric McKenna, and the show is brought to you by CallEric.com. Tune in next Saturday at 10:30 for another edition of Your Personal Realtor, hosted by Eric McKenna, right here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.